Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we are really going to try and cut through some pretty dense documentation.
Mm,
We're focusing on a very specific piece of enterprise tech, the key digital KD-ProCL8 enterprise software license for Compass Control.
right. It's a mouthful.
It is. So our mission here is to figure out what this product actually is and, why its architecture is seen as this major strategic shift in AV control.
Yeah, and it's important to set the stage. Key Digital, they're a serious player. Most people know them for their hardware.
AV over IP, matrix switchers, that kind of thing.
Exactly. Robust hardware. But Compass Control, that's their big software play. And this license, the KD-ProCL8, it's literally the key that unlocks the whole system for 8 different devices.
And it's a master pack of 8 units, which is an important detail.
Yeah.
Before we get too technical, let's talk about the investment here.
Okay.
We're looking at a list price of $3,300
For the 8-pack.
for the 8-pack. But we did notice, for anyone thinking about procurement, there's a 10% discount code out there right now. 10% off.
That's a good catch. Little details like that matter in an enterprise budget.
They really do.
But the decision to even consider that budget, it really starts with understanding the whole architecture behind it.
Okay, let's unpack this, because this seems to be the core philosophy.
It is.
Most control systems I've dealt with, they rely on these expensive proprietary touch panels, fixed hardware on a wall.
Right. Single-purpose devices.
But the source material for Compass Control calls it the first fully integrated major control system designed to use iOS and Android devices as its backbone.
And that word backbone, that's everything. That is the technical and, frankly, the financial pivot point.
So what does that mean in practice?
It means the entire system is built from the ground up to use the hardware your client already owns, their smartphones, their tablets.
Which is a massive upfront cost saving. You're skipping that whole capital expense on proprietary panels.
A huge one.
But, playing devil's advocate from an IT perspective, relying on consumer OS like iOS or Android, isn't that a risk?
Right.
What happens when Apple pushes a surprise update that breaks your control app?
That is the critical trade-off. Absolutely. You save money, but you do inherit a bit of complexity.
So how do they manage that?
Well, Key Digital's solution is really baked into the license structure itself. It's fascinating how it balances security against flexibility.
Okay, tell me about that tension.
So, on one hand, the license, and this is a direct quote, marries with device ID of each iOS or Android device.
So it's locked down.
It's locked down tight. It's a very secure mechanism, binding control access to that unique piece of hardware. Only that specific authorized tablet can run the system.
That sounds great for security, but a total headache for an IT manager. What happens if my iPad breaks? I don't want to have to buy a whole new license.
Exactly. And that's the other side of the coin. The license is also listed as transferable between devices.
Ah, okay, so there's a process.
There has to be. This is essential for any real enterprise deployment. It suggests some kind of, admin portal where you can de-license the old ID and remarry the license to a new one.
So security is tied to the ID, but the management lets an admin revoke and reassign it through, I'm guessing, the Compass Control Cloud.
Precisely. That managed flexibility is what makes it enterprise ready. And from there, you get these amazing functional benefits like unique GUI creation for different devices.
What does that look like?
Well, think about it. The receptionist's tablet could just have video conferencing controls. Simple.
Yeah.
But the building manager's phone can pull up security feeds and HVAC controls from the exact same license pack.
And the management of all those different project files and GUIs is centralized.
Yes, that's another key feature the license enables. You can upload and store projects to and from the Compass Control Cloud.
So an integrator can push an update remotely?
Yep. Across a whole university campus without ever having to physically touch a single device. It's a huge deal for maintenance.
That's a perfect transition. So we get the philosophy, the mobile-first control. But let's get practical. What does that $3,300 actually buy the installer?
Right. Beyond just activating 8 screens,
Yeah.
you have to look at the physical connections. The ProCL8 package mentions it includes 3 multifunction control ports and supports USB configuration.
Which tells us that even if the interface is on an iPad,
You still need a physical box somewhere to actually talk to the projector, the shades, the lights.
those ports are the physical bridge. Okay, can you clarify a couple of these specs for me? I see it's listed as TAA compliant. What's the significance there?
TAA is the Trade Agreements Act.
Yeah.
This is a huge deal if you're bidding on U.S. government contracts.
A non-negotiable checklist item.
Absolutely. It certifies the product was made in a TAA-designated country. For an integrator, seeing that TAA checkmark, it just opens up a massive market that other gear can't touch.
That makes sense. It's a signifier for a whole class of
A
projects.
very lucrative one.
And let's put that price in context again. How does the 8-pack, the ProCL8, scale against smaller options?
So Key Digital also offers a single license, the ProCL1, for $550. A 4-pack is almost $2,000, and a 6-pack is $2,750.
So if you do the math,
The Master Pack is designed for volume. Buying 2 4-packs would cost you way more than 1 8-pack. It's clear they're incentivizing larger enterprise-scale jobs.
okay, so once the integrator has the license, they need to actually program those custom GUIs. Are there hidden software costs there?
This is a really good point, and no. The license provides free access to the Compass Navigator PC Editor.
So the main programming tool is bundled.
It is. They're removing that barrier so the cost of customization isn't some surprise expense.
And since this is an ecosystem, we should probably touch on the hardware it talks to.
For sure. The software is just one piece. For the core network stuff, you're looking at something like the KD-1000 Compass controller. That's about $1,100.
That handles the IP control. What about this other part, the contact closure converter, the KD-CCXR200?
Right, for $350.
Yeah.
That's the cool part. That's how this system bridges the gap between modern digital commands and older, simpler physical things.
Like a button on a wall.
Exactly. A button on a wall, a sensor on a door. It's a simple open or close circuit. This little box translates that physical switch into a digital command the software can actually understand and act on.
So it's the universal translator for simple hardware?
Mm-hmm. It's how you integrate legacy systems.
That makes perfect sense. Okay, let's move into our final segment here. Let's talk about the barrier to entry and long-term support.
This is where Key Digital really ensures quality control. You can't just buy this stuff and start installing it.
Oh.
The source is explicit. Completion of the Compass Control C1 course is required for all authorized resellers.
So a mandatory formal certification.
A mandatory one.
Which, ensures a certain level of quality, but it also creates a bit of vendor lock-in, doesn't it? It's a barrier for smaller integration firms.
It is, but Key Digital seems to reward that commitment.
How so?
They offer free technical support, but specifically for C1 certified installers and programmers.
Ah, I see.
So by forcing the training, they probably cut down on basic support calls. And when a really complex issue does pop up, they're giving premium support to the people who've proven they know the system. It's a clever, closed loop.
Very clever. And what about the long-term reassurance, the warranty? Because this is the backbone of a system. It needs to be reliable for years.
Right. Key Digital standard warranty is 3 years.
Okay. It's pretty standard.
It is. But a key detail we found from the reseller information really changes that calculation.
Oh.
The reseller upgrades that standard 3-year warranty to a 5-year warranty at no extra cost.
Wow. 5 years on enterprise control software is huge. That covers a big chunk of a typical deployment lifecycle.
It's a massive value add. It substantially de-risks the whole investment. And on top of that, they also include lifetime telephone tech support.
So you get 5 years of formal hardware assurance plus ongoing tech help.
Yeah, that's significant long-term certainty for the end user.
So what does this all mean then? When you put it all together, the KD-ProCL8 license, it's really more than just a software key.
Much more.
It's the entry point into this whole sophisticated ecosystem, one that's built on the flexibility of mobile devices, backed by mandatory professional training and sweetened with a really strong long-term warranty.
I think the core insight here is seeing how enterprise control is shifting its center of gravity.
Away from the fixed hardware.
Exactly. Away from that box on the wall and toward the agile, manageable device that's already in your hand. It gives you all this flexibility, but as we discussed, it requires these really complex licensing mechanisms to keep it secure.
It's high-level strategy translated directly into code.
Which brings up an important question, I think, for you, for the person actually implementing this.
Go on.
We talked about that tension between binding a license to a specific device ID and the need for IT to transfer it. So here's the question. If that transferability is so critical, how does Key Digital handle license retrieval when a device is lost or stolen or just completely destroyed and can't be formally decommissioned? Does the architecture have some kind of forced timeout or a remote wipe capability to make sure that master pack of 8 licenses is always accounted for?
Yeah.
That's the kind of hidden complexity that really defines enterprise-level management.